I don't think uh, white people worldwide have really reckoned with how much their own personal identity is shaped by constructions of whiteness, and how much that construction of whiteness prevents white people from connecting to humanity.
I think I'm gonna go now.
In other words, recognizing that when you recognize that
Today, Junior! Looks like we've got a couple of interesting Netflix stories today. I want to kind of look at a video clip here where the audio is from, I would say, notorious race grifter Ibram X. Kendi, who gets paid $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to go to universities and say white people bad. It's extremely good work if you can get it. I mean, collect your, you secure your bag, no issues. Good for you. I'm just not gonna ever take anything you say serious. I'm not gonna say you give a crap about black people, because you don't. You care about enriching yourself. And Netflix put out a new documentary that paid this individual a lot of money and paid him to say things like, quote, whiteness prevents white people from connecting to humanity. Now, I want to, before we listen to the words of this racist, I want to explain a weasel word that anti-white people use to pretend that they aren't racist. They simply say that whiteness and white people are a different thing, when in fact they are not. They will try to make you think that they are super, super smart and they might have the biggest forehead on the planet. But what they're really doing is just being racist. You never hear anybody say black people are different than blackness, Asian people are different than Asianness. Whiteness is a synonym for white people. They get paid by woke corporations and universities to come in and disparage white people under the guise of this idea of, quote, whiteness. Just so everyone understands, when you hear this loser use that terminology, just know he means white people, okay? Ibram X. Kendi receives a giant applause from the Netflix film screening audience after demonizing white people around the world.
that I don't think white people worldwide have really reckoned with how much their own personal identity is shaped by constructions of whiteness.
13 seconds, about 25 words, and what he just said is, I don't like white people. Okay? He's a freak. All right? I no longer have any time to provide these losers any benefit of the doubt. He said that white people haven't taken the time or the stock to understand just how they're benefiting from their whiteness. There's no such thing as whiteness. There's no such thing as hate speech.
And how much that construction of whiteness prevents white people from connecting to humanity. In other words,
he says that white people are subhuman. And by the way, it took him 30 seconds. You can tell that he is making it up as he goes along. And he's saying that whiteness, the whiteness of white people, are preventing them to connect to humanity. Well, there are many communities in this great country that I look at and I can say that they have no concept of humanity with how they treat each other. Certainly white people are part of that, but it has nothing to do with whiteness. Look at how people treat each other in downtown Chicago. mega country, and you tell me that they understand humanity more than white people. I'm sorry, whiteness people. Generalizing, half of the world's population. I guess I don't know half of the United States, I can say. I'm sure it's not half of the world.
Words, recognizing that when you recognize that you are part and parcel of humanity. In other words, you're not over humanity, right?
Right, you're subhuman if you're white. That's what he's saying. Right, you're subhuman.
It allows you to really be able to connect to people who don't look like you.
My whiteness does not allow me, so you're saying whiteness means that you have no ability to connect to people who are what? Also not white? You listen to a lot of these people, it's just random word salad. It doesn't mean anything, but Netflix paid this guy a boatload.
Who have kinky hair, who have dark skin, and to see yourself in them. And it's whiteness that prevents that, right? And
so his claim is that whiteness prevents, a white person's ability to see themselves inside of a black person. Well, by that exact same, the transitive race grift property, by the transitive race grift property, then blackness also prevents black people from seeing themselves in other people. And hey, maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. All that means then is that all people have a difficult time seeing themselves in other people that do not look like them, which I can actually understand. But it's only white people that have this as a problem. Fascinating.
And when you're not able to see yourself in other human beings, that creates all sorts of problems.
Yeah, definitely. He says when you don't see yourself in other human beings, it creates all sorts of problems. I really want to avoid espousing some hate facts here. So I'm just going to say, if you look at, I don't know, statistics around what groups of people are taking the lives of other groups of people and the number at which they are doing it, white people are pretty much at the bottom. So I'm not sure what he means. Now, are there bad white people? Of course. But there are also bad black people and bad Asian people, bad Hispanic people. It has nothing to do with your skin color or your quote unquote whiteness. There is a general lack of empathy for human beings that I see every single day. Every single day play out on Twitter in video format. I could pull up my Twitter profile right now and watch people doing the most heinous, inhumane things ever, and there's a new video of it every single day. Remember those young youths that just, didn't have anything better to do than run down some off-duty police officer laughing and then they laughed in court? Was it their whiteness that did that? Because they weren't white. Those people that beat up that kid over their headphones in Las Vegas, was that whiteness run amok again? You want to talk about how people view other people as subhuman being bad? I agree with you. That's racist. And the things that Ibram X. Kendi here are saying are also racist. Viewing people as subhuman or less than, or they don't have the ability to connect. That's what Hitler did.
but not just societal problems, personal problems. That I think hopefully this film and this work will liberate those folks from. So I think it's liberating all the way around, right?
Oh, it's going to liberate my whiteness.
It will liberate, really all of us, because we've all been told a lie about ourselves and other people.
Yeah. Ooh. Wakanda forever. Yeah, no white people on that stage. I wonder what the crowd looks like. Wakanda forever. This dude's just racist. The same things, we want to re-edit it to get the movie to middle schoolers. We want to create curriculum around my grift. The race hustlers want to make sure their racist message reaches kids. Thanks, Netflix. This is why Kendi refuses to talk any of his critics. He knows these positions are indefensible and will only discuss them with his woke supporters. And there you go. Our stories, allyship at Netflix, learning to be empathetic and curious colleague. You see, Canada here writes, I hope I didn't mispronounce her last name, but first comes the dehumanization, then comes what? First you dehumanize your enemy. Everyone's making the same point I did earlier. This dude's just a racist. And like, it's insane to me. That's why like everyone says, oh, Netflix based. Netflix based. They didn't get rid of Dave Chappelle's comedy special. Yeah, well, they're still paying this guy money. Dave Chappelle made a few trans jokes. This guy's openly racist. It's just sick. It's sick, I say. Stop paying Netflix money. There's plenty of better things to watch on TV. Every movie you ever need to see for the rest of your life has already been made and is available on physical media. Just keep that in mind. Or other ways.